everybody, I'm Kathleen Hawkins, your proud president and founder of WOAMTEC. I am so excited to be here with you today. We have an amazing program with 3 amazing women that are not only going to inspire you and motivate you, they're going to educate you, empower you, and help you be the best you can possibly be. You know, I think it is so amazing as I watch people all across America coming together to make a difference in each other's lives, to empower each other, to encourage each other, and, you know, to really help strengthen not only their business, but the business and all the businesses within their community. This week we had a great week. We've been collecting jeans for the last couple of months with our national jean drive across America, helping young adults, children who have aged out of foster care, women who have been abused, just people in need of feeling comfortable in the jeans that they have, the jeans that they've been born with, but also blessing them with the jeans that they can go back to school with, because we all know how important and how expensive it can be. Having 3 children of my own, I spent a pretty penny getting them ready to go back to school. So thank you for all of the chapters that supported the Jean Drive. On August 10th, I will be revealing the chapter that won, that collected the most jeans, and that chapter is going to be receiving a free annual membership, 2 free complimentary 6-month memberships, as well as everybody in the chapter will leave with a prize. See, you know, part of people sometimes don't understand that part of WOAMTEC means women on a mission to earn commission. And yes, men are welcome, women are required though. And what the to earn commission part isn't just revenue generating commission. It's the greater commissions in life. It's helping other people. It's making a difference. It's understanding that if you put out and you assist other people in reaching their goals, your goals will be reached as well. And I think that that is so important to know that that's what you're doing, coming together. And this week we did it by helping people go back to school with jeans. So thank you. We've got a great show, as I mentioned today, 3 amazing women. The first one is going to talk to us a little bit about 5 social media tips. We all know that times have changed and we spend more time texting than we do actually talking these days, and more time in emails and social media platforms. But what's great about that is we're getting to know each other a little bit better. We know what our kids do. We know what's going on in our businesses. We're able to shout from the rooftops and let everybody in America know what's happening. Now, I know a lot of people are a little bit hesitant sometimes about using different social media platforms, so I thought it was critical to bring on somebody that can teach us 5 tips that can help us maybe not be so technophobic, maybe not be so afraid, and actually sit back and relax and know, you know what, if I need to do this in my business, rather than just dismissing it and ignoring it and procrastinating it, let's make a difference in my business by delegating it. So if you have to hire somebody else to do something to help you, this lady can tell you all about it and can teach you about it, and she can answer a lot of your questions. But first, let's hear her 5 tips today on how to grow your business using social media. Please welcome to the set Jean. Jean, thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you actually do?
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I do social media, and now that's a pretty big word, and it means a lot of different things. But what I do is I network online. So many of you have businesses that can go, you know, nationwide or worldwide, and the internet allows us to do that. And it's no different than going to a WOAMTEC meeting and, you know, meeting friends and talking with them. You do the same thing online that you would at a networking meeting.
You know, I think that's a great analogy, because a lot of times people use social media just to post. And that's not networking. That's not creating a conversation. That's not building relationships. And what I loved at this last conference that we did is I actually saw people using, like, the WOAMTEC group page, for example, and having conversations, asking questions, sharing ideas, instead of just selling, because nobody wants to be sold to. People do business with people that can solve a problem or fill a need. So they started relationships. And at the conference, I saw people like from Arizona meet people in you know, Orlando, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you.
Exactly.
Because they were developing relationships. So what tip would you give us as a way to build relationships using social media instead of just spamming the world via Facebook or something?
Well, I guess the biggest tip is to not be afraid, and, you know, to talk and to care about what other people have to say. So instead of, you know, it is important to post. I'm not saying that posting isn't important, but it is more important to care about what others are posting. If you care about them, they'll care about you, and that's just the same at a WOAMTEC meeting or online. So if you go to their page, you can sign in as your business page and talk to them, and that's completely appropriate. to talk to them about their information, not about yours, but about what they're saying on their page.
I think that's important. You know, one of the things that I strive to do is find ways that I can help them fill a need, because that's what it's all about. People become engaged when you're helping each other fill a need or solve a problem. So I may look at what somebody does, and if I want to start a relationship with them, and let's say, this is far-fetched, let's say they sing, they're a vocal person or whatever. I may say, you know, I want to connect with you. I'd like to learn more about what you do to possibly consider you for a conference. Let's say they do social media. I would connect with them and say, I'd like to find out more about what you do so I could possibly have you on WOAMTEC Live. But that's connecting with them, but connecting with them in a way that they're going to say, oh, maybe she can help me. Maybe she can solve a problem. Maybe she can fill one of my needs. And that all of a sudden makes you an authoritative resource. And being a resource for others is going to help you get closer to your goals, because like you said, if you help them, naturally they're going to want to help you back.
Exactly.
So what are some of the other tips that you find business owners, you know, struggle with, or some of your clients come to you with because they're having problems?
Well, I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that when you post something on your Facebook page that, you know, everyone can see it, no matter who they are. Now, if you have your settings set to your friends or your friends of friends, those are the only people that can see it. So I think that fear is one of the biggest issues. And I know we're talking a little, that's the personal side as well as the business side, but you can, it's both. Facebook is both. So when we're talking about that, you have to be yourself. You have to build your personal side as well as your business page.
Well, let's talk about that, because I have talked to countless people on the phone who say, oh, I keep my Facebook separate from my business life. You know, I don't connect the two. Do you think that's possible? Can you keep it separate forever? Can you live like this lifestyle and, you know, be this way in the business world, or have the two worlds collided?
Well, I mean, I think it's possible, but I think it's a really bad idea. And I think it's a bad idea because you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. Because when people get to know you as a human being, they're much more likely to want to use your business. Plus, I hear a lot from people that, well, I keep my personal separate. Okay, but my family, my friends, the people that I'm closest to, they care about my business. Mm-hmm. They want to hear about my success. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a big mistake to not share those successes with them.
I think that's hugely important. And even from the other side of the coin, if you look at it where my customers, you know, when Jeff and I ran a photography business, or even now with WOAMTEC, you know, my customers are our members. And if they feel as though I really care about them, they're going to feel more invested. But if you keep it separate and you don't accept their friend requests, then you're telling them, hey, you're not really my friend. You know, you're just a client. You're just a number. You're just money. This is just a sale. And we don't have anything personal going on here. You know, this is business. And I think that that's a huge mistake. You know, when we owned our photography studio and we developed relationships with our brides to where they felt as though I cared about, you know, the shoes that they picked out and the jewelry that they wore and all the little details. And when they started having babies and I was there to comment on their children, they're more likely to stay paid retaining clients because they have become friends and now we're part of their family. And I think that that's huge. You know, and plus just last night at an event that I was at, one of the attendees said her daughter's, she said, you're about to see a picture of me from when I was 30 because I want the world to know how hot you were, Mom. And now what you have to keep in mind is now you're not going to be able to hide things because your kids are going to start posting things about you. And, you know, there is no, you know, behind closed door. You know, you are who you are. And I say do that with integrity. So give me another tip, maybe not Facebook related wise, okay, because I know there's so much more. You've got Twitter, you've got LinkedIn, you've got Pinterest. You know, tell me another tip that you find that that entrepreneurs need to take advantage of.
Okay, well, we'll talk about LinkedIn. And a lot of what we've already talked about holds true there as well. On LinkedIn, I hear often, well, I get requests from people I don't know. And I say, yay, that's good. I mean, isn't that what the point is to grow and to meet new people? And I hear that, well, sometimes they'll send me an email that is spammy or they're trying to sell themselves. And okay, and sometimes when we go networking in person, people don't do it really well. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they hand us their business cards and that feels like it's the only reason that they're there. But I say, let's talk about the people that are doing it right, not the people that are doing it wrong. And maybe help those people that are doing it wrong learn the right way. And, go ahead and let them talk about their business and, ask them questions about their business, and then feel free to share about yours.
Absolutely. I have found that people that do go with the business card psycho mentality, pushing their business cards in people's faces, they usually do that because they just don't know. They don't know how else to do it. So you're right, by encouraging people to start that dialogue and to get that running, I think is more effective. Once that dialogue started, then you can develop the relationship, and you're breaking the ice and you're easing up their comfort zone. So if someone is coming at you in a sales format, I have one member that says all the time that when she gets a constant contact blast that's just sales driven, that isn't educational driven or relationship building driven, she'll pick up the phone and she'll call them and she'll say, can I make a suggestion? Because I want you to be successful and I want your business to be successful. And this is how I'm feeling as the recipient of the blast that you're sending me, which is important. So give me one other tip that you can share with everybody in regards to social media.
Okay, but first I want to add on to the piece that you just said.
Sure.
So I asked them, how is that working for you? How, sending those emails, is that working? How does it work now? And sometimes they're very, they'll say that it works, and then they'll do percentages, and then I'll talk to them about what percentages could be and how many percentages of people they've actually alienated by doing it. So while it may work 5 times out of 200, you've actually upset 195 people. And so if those are numbers that you're willing to accept, that's great, but I wouldn't be willing to accept alienating 195 people. So one more tip about LinkedIn would be to be sure to join a lot of groups. Now, it is important that you check out the groups and that you make sure that the groups are active, because you can only join 50. So you have to make sure you choose the right ones. But make sure that they're groups that are in constant conversations. When the people in the groups are talking to each other, they're going to want to connect to you. Even when you send a request, one of the things is it's a group that we both belong to that you can choose. And so they want you to make those connections.
I think that's good, because once you find common ground with people, then that's how you start. That's the foundation of building a relationship, is you have to have something in common with somebody else. And that's when they're going to, the minute someone says, I'm a WOAMTEC member, you already have an alliance, you already have a sisterhood, you already have a way to pick up the phone and call any stranger in the nation and start a dialogue because of that foundation, because of that common ground. Now, I have to ask you, a lot of people don't take advantage of advertising via Facebook or LinkedIn. Do you feel as though it's important for an entrepreneur to actually invest in advertising dollars in any of those platforms? And what type of person would be the best kind of company to invest?
Absolutely. If they want to grow their business, worldwide or nationwide, they need to invest. You cannot invest, but it's going to take a much longer time frame. So you need to set a budget. It's really not expensive. You can do it quite inexpensively if you do it correctly. LinkedIn, it's relatively new, so I don't know how many people know this yet, but on LinkedIn, you can actually specify, I would like to show this only to the medical field. And so it finds everyone that you're connected to and their connections in the medical field, and you can target just those individuals with the advertising, so you can get very specific. I could just say chiropractors. I could just say realtors. So it's a great way to reach the people, reach your target that you're trying to reach, and build those connections much quicker.
That's awesome. Now, I know that there's some people out there. I did a business assessment the other day, and for starters, she had an AOL account still, so that was like a big red flag to me. But she was like, oh, I don't do social media. Social media doesn't work for me. And I was trying to, that's always a challenge for me. You tell me social media doesn't work, and I've got to prove you wrong. So I was trying to break down the walls for her. And in her situation, I started studying what people, I asked her, she was an attorney, I asked her what attorneys she most admired and would want to be like. And then I started social media stalking them. Like I started watching what they were doing, how they were using YouTube, how they were using Facebook, et cetera. So I want to encourage people to take the time to research what other people that they admire, what other mentors in their field are doing. And if they're successful and if they're one of your big mentors, most likely what they're doing is probably working, which is why you know them so well. If they weren't successful, then they wouldn't be somebody you would admire. But I know that there are people that are out there that are like, I'm technophobic. I don't have time for this because they're a one woman show, running their business and doing everything. You could help them with some of that, and it's pretty affordable. So share with them some of the services that you offer nationwide.
Okay. Well, I offer the major platforms. So LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Google+, and YouTube. And basically, I get to know my clients personally and professionally, because as I've mentioned, I don't think you can separate the two. So I think it's really important that I know what is important to them so that I can speak through their voice. Then I become the client online. So actually, you could have a very little involvement or a lot of involvement. It's much more successful when you have a professional and you have the individual involved. You can have a much more successful campaign on any of the platforms.
Okay. So, and I know it's affordable because I've seen your packages and your pricing, and there are no contracts, which I like. I've worked with a lot of social media people, and we've had a lot of social media people on the show, actually, that teach things. But what I like about you is I can delegate. I can just say, pick up the ball and run with this, and be in control of how long I'm spending, how much money I'm spending, and what platforms that you're part of. Do you have any other tips or ideas or suggestions for our audience today on how to make the most? Well, we haven't mentioned Pinterest. What is Pinterest, and what would people use it for?
Okay. Well, let's talk. We have a lot of people that are watching that are direct sales. And so let's talk about that. There's the 3 different platforms. We have LinkedIn and Facebook and Pinterest. So which one should I be on? Well, not everybody needs to be on everything. But when you're in direct sales, you really do. Because you have 3 different levels. You have LinkedIn for your recruiting, you have Facebook for your parties and building, relationships, and you have Pinterest, which people are buying from. I mean, people are actually going there to shop and get ideas. So it's a place that you need to be. Pinterest is pictures. It's all about pictures, but you can also build relationships there by sharing other people's stuff, by favoriting it, by, it's not really called sharing there, it's called repinning,
okay.
But it's the same idea. And so the great thing on Pinterest is that Google has what's called duplicate information, and they garnish you for that. Pinterest doesn't have that. So you can have multiple boards that have the same kind of thing on them, so that when people search, they have a better chance of finding you. So you can get really, really specific. For instance, you wouldn't want to just say shoes. You would want to say pink shoes, or blue shoes, or red lipstick, or not just skin care, but, age care, eye care. So you can have different boards for each product that you offer.
Okay, that's awesome. So, so it's more of a shopping platform, but also it helps with your search engine and your search rankings,
exactly.
which is really important. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I know that you're going to be giving away a social media review to somebody. So she's going to do a consultation where she's going to go online, she's going to review your social media, do a proposal, teach you what you don't do, which are not what you think you should be doing and that you're not doing, right. And kind of point out those little things and give you ideas and suggestions. That's awesome. Now, if somebody wanted to talk to you more, can you tell them how they would reach you?
Sure. They can, if you Google me at Social Genie, you're going to find me all over the place, of course, but I'm on Pinterest. You can go to Facebook. Social Genie is my Twitter. Social Genie is my handle, or socialgenie.com. It's SOCIALGEANIE, because I know there's lots of different ways that you could spell genie, so it's JEANIE.
That is awesome. So check that out. And of course, you can find her via the WOAMTEC directory. If you log into the WOAMTEC website, you can definitely see her. But this is how the person's going to win. The first person to email her Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. So the first one, ready, set, go, right now, that sends her a message is going to win this free social media review. And we'll be able to connect with her and just pick up some pointers on how you can make the most out of your social media connections and relationships. relationships. Thank you so very much for being here today. It was a pleasure having you on the show. You provided a great deal of knowledge, and I do believe you were just a recent blog on WOAMTEC.com, right?
I was.
Okay,
yes.
so if you haven't read her blog on WOAMTEC.com, make sure you do that too, because it was very informative and gave a lot of great information. And I have a feeling we might be able to get her to blog a few more times in the future, so make sure you continue to check that out. Thanks again, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know, we have two more amazing people that are going to share lots of great information with you, but I have some exciting news. First, this week, I've been waiting for 5 long years to have our nonprofit, the WOAMTEC Foundation, that empowers and encourages young adults who have been abused, neglected, or abandoned through no fault of their own to have the courage to dream. And in the next few months, we will be giving away our first 300 backpacks that will include a Courage to Dream journal with a 40-day plan, a backpack, a t-shirt, lots of fun stuff. But this is the exciting part. This week, we just received our official 501c3 number. We've been in a pending status since January, and I am super excited to say it is official. The WOAMTEC Foundation is live and ready to move forward, and we will be holding benefits across the nation to help not only make a difference building businesses, but to make a difference in the life of a child, to become their community, connect you and your resources with these young adults and the resources they need to break the cycle of victimization. Do you realize 61% of young men that age out of foster care are incarcerated within the first 2 years from the day they age out of foster care? These 18-year-olds aren't given a chance. Do you realize 42% of young ladies who age out of foster care end up pregnant within the first 14 months? They need somebody to know that they're loved. They need to stop looking for love in all the wrong places. And WOAMTEC Foundation is going to show them that and provide them with that tool. Do you realize that 28% of young adults that age out of foster care end up homeless because the money they're given and the skills that they have aren't strong enough to have them support themselves? I remember what it was like when I was 18, and I know without a family to support me and to comfort me and a place to go back just to do my laundry, life was tough, but it could have been a whole lot tougher. Thank you so much for supporting us, and I look forward to continuing to work with you. I can say I'm super excited because the first fundraising activity that we are doing is on August 27th in Texas. Go Texas! And it is going to be a business building boot camp where all proceeds will go to support the Courage to Dream and the WOAMTEC Foundation so we can launch right in the next couple of months. So thank you to all of our Texas directors and all of the fabulous members. Special thank you to the sponsors and the vendors that are helping us come out there. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you personally and connecting with each and every one of you and just really not only working together to build businesses, but to change the people's lives in our communities that need our help the most. Speaking of business building boot camps, though, I do want to make sure that you know that we are launching a series of 4 business building boot camps. They're going to cycle, and they will each cover executive MBA level courses. Some of you may or may not know, but at one point in time in my life, I did teach master level business courses for a university, and I'm going to be sharing the information that I taught that was driven, and it's going to be hardcore advertising, marketing, financial services. I'm going to help you get your WOAMTEC MBA. What we're going to do, though, is when you complete the 4 courses, and it can be done all over a year, it could take you a couple years. It all depends on how quickly you sign in and take the classes. When you complete all 4 courses and you complete the entire 12 hours, you will become a WOAMTEC certified entrepreneur, and you will receive your WCE diploma, and you will be able to officially put those names on your WOAMTEC directory or on your business card or wherever your heart desires, because you are not just a small business entrepreneur, you are an educated business entrepreneur, and that's what we want to help make you and create you. Speaking of helping you, our next guest is all the way from Tallahassee, Florida. She is Skyping in on today's call. She is an amazing woman that's going to share with us 5 steps to a better you. Judy, are you there?
I definitely am. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, thank you for being here. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about who you are and what company you represent?
I work for myself. I'm an executive life and wellness coach, and I work with individuals and companies as well. I work with them on personal and professional development. I work with them to challenge them, to motivate them to move forward. And we have a great time working together with individuals, especially. I love working with women. I'm just finishing up a Principles for Success with a group of women, and I'm getting ready to start an 8-week business course, and I want to target women across the nation and do an hour-long, once a week for 8 weeks, conference call with them and work with them on getting their single daily actions and goals motivated and moving forward. So those are some of the things that I do.
You know, I think that that's important. And as you know, that I do a 1-hour business assessment call with each one of our members once a year, just not to become a lifelong coach because they can't hire me, but to help me gauge what our members need, how I can help them, because we know that their success is our success, of course. So I think that it's important that we stress that having a coach mentor you, guide you, hold your hand, walk you through each step of the way is really important because it makes you accountable. And I think that that course is excellent and a great way to help identify people's obstacles, but also identify their goals and make them accountable. May I ask how much that program is that you're doing?
I'm actually offering it for the first time. The first 8 weeks is going to be $200 for all members that are WOAMTEC. If they contact me by the end of this week, I'll get them all set up and I'll work with them from there. But I'm only taking 8 women per session, and this first round will only be $200 for the 8 weeks.
Okay, that is a magnificent price. 8 weeks worth of ongoing coaching for only $200 in a limited class of 8 women. I think that that is amazing, so thank you so much. Well, speaking of amazing, I know you want to share with us 5 steps to making us amazing and helping us be better. So why don't you just tell me a little bit about what is your first step? Like, based upon your experience, what have you learned is one of the most important thing that WOAMTEC members or women in general do?
Well, I talked about these because I do compassion fatigue and I do a workshop on it. And it's because I'm a caregiver myself, as we all are, all women are. And my very first one is taken from Ben Zander's The Art of Possibility. And he has this rule that he calls rule number 6. And I joke about it because it reminds us not to take ourselves so seriously and to remember to laugh. It's okay. One of the best things I could tell you is I was doing a workshop about 3 months ago, and I literally tripped over a chair and ended up on my knees, and I turned around and I just busted out laughing because it was just, don't take yourself so seriously. We're all important in our own ways, but our ego can sometimes get in our way. So just to remember to laugh at ourselves and not take ourselves seriously.
Do you know, I think that's important, and I will be honest with you, I often have a problem laughing, and I think that it's a very healthy thing to do, and we need to do it more often, so thank you for sharing that. What would be another suggestion or tip or idea that you think would be important for us just being the most authentic individual that we can be?
I would say the second rule is when we're under stress, what is the first thing that we do as individuals? We have a tendency to do.
Eat or drink? No, I don't know.
Your drink. How about breathing? What do we do with our breath? 9 times out of 10, we end up holding our breath, and we forget that it's really important to just take a moment, if we're under stress, to sit back and just take that breath. And when we do that, we actually begin to relax. So the important thing is to remember, for me, personally, I do 3 deep breaths and really just concentrate on the breath. And as soon as I do that, the situation seems to calm down just a little bit more. So that would be rule number 2 for me, just to remember to breathe. And actually, that's the book, part of the title of the book I'm writing on, is Remember to Breathe.
That's terrific. And what would be another step that you would like to share with us today?
The third one is to incorporate gratitude into our daily lives. Gratitude is critical for everyone in the world, and it changes us in so many different ways. The coaching classes that I've taken through are through mentor coaching, and they base their coaching on positive psychology. Robert Emmons is one of the biggest ones out there. He writes and does science-based research on gratitude and the importance of incorporating gratitude in your life, not only with adults, but they're now working with some students. So it's really kind of interesting, the research that they're coming up with. But they found that when you incorporate gratitude into your life, you achieve your goals much easier. And the second thing is that you also, like, say you incorporate gratitude with a daily affirmation, I'm losing weight, and you use the daily affirmation and you incorporate the gratitude and that you're grateful for it. They've actually found that people who incorporate gratitude into their life lose weight faster than those individuals who don't. So it's kind of an interesting little side bit there. There's a lot of different ways to do gratitude as well, journaling and everything else, but I have a lot of fun with that.
Well, I think that that's impressive and really important, because when you do journal, when you do take the time to show gratitude, you have a tendency of, focusing on the positive instead of focusing on the negative things in your life, which is critical, because all those negative things can drain us of energy and really take us down very fast. Now, we talked earlier about how people don't want to be sold to. They want to, do business with people that can fill a need or solve a problem. Can you, Judy, share with me an example of somebody who you've worked with who had a problem that you helped them solve through working with them?
Well, what I have done is, with one individual that I'm working with, and she just shared with me yesterday how much her life has changed. She was, one of my goals is always to not complain and try to incorporate complaint-free world into my life. And when I work with individuals, I talk about that skill, learning how to not complain or turning something negative into a positive. Because 9 times out of 10, when we've had a negative experience in our life, when we reflect back on it, we can actually find something positive in that. This individual said to me yesterday that she has changed so much since she has had me working with her as a coach. And it just took me back for a minute, because you forget how much of an influence you have in individuals' lives. So it was great to hear somebody give that affirmation back to me, and I really appreciated that 100%.
That is terrific. And tell me a little bit about WOAMTEC Tallahassee. How are things going up there for you?
Oh, that's a wonderful group of women. They're fantastic. And our director, Sheila, is awesome. She is just the sweetest person, and she really does lead by example. She's an individual who incorporates gratitude in her life. She's very positive. She's very open, and she handles things in such a graceful way. I'm pleased to know her, and I'm glad to call her a friend now.
That is terrific. Well, as a WOAMTEC member, you can visit every chapter in the United States twice as a guest before being asked to join. So I do encourage you to take the time to try and check out some other chapters. And as you vacation maybe to Orlando, see if we can set you up as a speaker in the different Central Florida chapter areas. Or heck, hop on a plane. We just had a member fly out to Texas to do a presentation in a consultant in the Texas area. But you don't have to fly to them to do business with them. You can work with people anywhere in the country. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
I do a lot through teleconference. I talk to individuals, and actually the 8-week business course that I'm doing is going to be through the telephone. So everybody will call in. I have a number for them. All they'll have to pay for is the land. If they call off of landline, they'll have to pay that way. But usually by phone, it's free, the number. So it's pretty easy to do. And I'm limiting it to 8 people because it's easier to actually bond with individuals there. And the neat thing is, they each keep each other accountable, because I give them homework assignments, and I actually call them accountability assignments because I don't like homework. I never did. So I call them accountability assignments, and they actually work with each other and they keep each other accountable. So it's not just me, it's them as well. So it's great fun.
I think that's wonderful. And I just want to make sure, did we make it through all 5 of your tips, or do you have something else that you wanted to make sure we shared?
The last one I'm going to share is from a wise, wise woman. It was my grandmother. And she lived to be 89 years old, and she worked until she was 75, and she was a registered nurse. And she always told me to remember to give somebody a hug, because a hug a day keeps the doctor away. So I ask everybody out there, if you know somebody that you just think needs a hug, reach out and say, is it okay? And give them a hug, because it's the greatest thing and the best gift you can give anybody, and it's free.
Well, Judy, thank you so much for sharing. I can tell you have an amazing personality, and I hope to see you at the next National Confident Women Conference in April 2014. You are a gift to the Tallahassee chapter, which is why they wanted you on the show today, and I appreciate that. Make sure you let all of your other WOAMTEC members know in Tallahassee or across the nation, you don't have to be in Orlando to be part of WOAMTEC Live, and one of the best benefits of WOAMTEC Live is not only the advertisement for your business, but the way that you can provide education to others, but how you can increase your search engine optimization because it's connected with YouTube and Google. And it's just a great member benefit. So thank you again, Judy. I appreciate you. I will go hug somebody today. But before we leave, I do want to mention one thing. You are giving away 3 gratitude journals. And I love that because I think journaling is so important. She's given away 3 gratitude journals to the first 3 people that connect to Judy, either through WOAMTEC Facebook, through Facebook on Judy's page. Judy, what is your website directory? What is your website address?
It's actually theauthenticitycoach.com.
Okay, so you can either go to the WOAMTEC member directory, just type in Judy in the keyword sentence and hit enter, and you'll see her name, or you can go to theauthenticitycoach.com or find her on Facebook or LinkedIn. The first 3 people that do that and send her a personal message will be winners of a gratitude journal. So thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless, and give everybody in Tallahassee a great big WOAMTEC hug for me, please.
I definitely.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, next we got just going to take a short break for just a minute while we get ready for the final most magnificent speaker. If you are a woman that wears high heels, if you spend a lot of time on your computer, if you sit at a desk often, you don't want to miss this next segment. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. If you are not yet a WOAMTEC member or know somebody that is not a WOAMTEC member but is looking to grow or build their business, mastermind with like-minded, professional, positive businesswomen and a few good men. And if you know of anybody that's out there that would be interested in being paid to market and grow their own personal business, please send them to WOAMTEC.com, because we would love to connect with you. You know, it's our vision to really continue to empower people nationwide, and there are so many more cities that we can grow into. We've seen the difference that it makes when you have a chapter and you watch somebody come in that may not have a whole lot of friends, may not be connected with a whole lot of businesses, you know, may not have a reason to get dressed up anymore because they're sitting behind a computer screen all day long. You know, we watch them come in and they stand a little taller, they walk a little prouder, they smile a little more, they give a few more hugs because they're surrounded by positive, like-minded professional women that make a difference in their lives every single day. And we want every woman that is working in America to experience this, but we need your help in order to make that happen. You know, speaking of standing a little taller and walking a little with a little bit more pride, I want to introduce you to a magnificent woman. Her name is Dr. Dana, and Dr. Dana is going to share with us the 5 tips for maintaining good computer posture, and not just computer posture. And we were talking, I discovered so many different things. Like, I discovered she's done work with babies, she's done work with allergy patients. I get allergies, some of you may know that, and I had no idea. You know, you don't just go to a chiropractor when you're experiencing a pain. She can work with you and analyze your posture to prevent the pain, which is important. So, Dr. Dana, thank you so much for being here today. Welcome to WOAMTEC Live.
Absolutely. I am a sports medicine chiropractor. I have worked with a wide array of rehabilitative scenarios as well as sports arenas. My main focus is, how do we get people better? How do we get people to a point that they actually are more functional?
So what do you mean by that? Like, what would be wrong? What are some of the symptoms that people sometimes have that's making them not as functional?
Okay. In regards to, we're talking about computer posture today. One of the things, so many people have headaches, upper back pain, low back pain, sciatica, carpal tunnel type of symptoms. When those happen, what's causing those? Most of the time it's pop a Tylenol, pop an Advil, you know, oh, it'll be okay, and then go home, rest, and then they go back to work the next day, and it happens all over again. Mm-hmm. So how do we resolve that? You know, we can do all sorts of simple things that seem to, you know, alleviate it short term, but how do we make it go away long term?
Well, I definitely need your help, and that's part of why you're on the show, because I spend almost 8 hours a day like this, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I come home at the end of the day, and it's like the first thing I want is my husband to rub my shoulders and, you know, crack my neck or do something, you know, loosen up a little bit. So what are some of the tips that you would recommend to different women?
Well, first of all, you want to look at where your monitor is placed. Now, there are a lot of factors in regards to where your monitor is. Are you wearing glasses? Are you wearing bifocals? what is your personal setting there? Does your monitor sit too low? If it does, you may have your head down. If your monitor sits too high, you may be looking up. But your body will naturally want to be at an even level with about the top third of your monitor, regardless of whether you have bifocals, regardless of whether you have any kind of visual aid. You'll go down like this, or you'll go up like this, and your body will adapt. Your body will totally adapt to where that monitor is placed, and it will be without even any consciousness.
Okay, so give me an example of how your body adapts. Like, dummy this up for people that didn't go to med school. How does your body adapt?
So basically, you've got your monitor, you've got your keyboard, you've got your sitting posture, you've got where your feet are. All of those factors have to do with how your body's going to adapt when it's actually at the computer. So sitting at the computer, if you have your hands on the keyboard and your monitor, say, is at the appropriate height, your head will maintain proper height. If your monitor is too low or you're on a laptop, what happens is your body wants to go like this.
Okay.
In the process, where's the keyboard? So if your desk is too high, your elbows are going to raise because your forearms want to stay horizontal with the ground. Okay? So depending on where your keyboard is going to determine where your arms are. So even if your monitor is the right height, if your keyboard's too low, you're still going to do this. And then you're up like this. So there are so many different little alignments that can make such a difference in how your body responds. Another thing, most people tend to sit like this. So you get that rounded back. You sit on the back of your butt. And basically, so many people don't sit forward when they're working.
I like this because you did this example at the luncheon today, which was a great example because you saw all the entire room. Well, do it, everybody that's watching. We can't see you, but I want you to do this. So tell them what you told us to do earlier.
So basically, I just told everybody, the bones that sit forward on the base of your pelvis to where you feel the bones that you're sitting on.
Okay, Tanya,
sit on them or in front of them.
Everybody here.
Okay, so what'll happen is you sit up. Okay, automatically your shoulders come back, your head comes up. Now relax back to where you were. Okay. Sit back up. If you pull your feet under you, you'll actually be able to do that more readily. So when you actually are sitting at your desk, if you can't change the seat that you're in, sit to the front of the desk, pull your feet underneath you, and that will help realign it to some degree without a lot of thought.
That's interesting. And one of the things that you said before is that they train you, like the more you do this and the stronger you are, the more it's going to be easier to stay like that.
It'll be natural. Absolutely.
Okay. What would be another tip that you would suggest or idea that you would suggest for somebody that that's at their computer or somebody that wears high heels all the time? Give us some other tips or techniques that might be helpful.
Well, one of the things that you can change is you can actually change the type of seat that you're on. You can actually change whether you're sitting on a flat seat. There are saddle seats available. There are ergonomic knee chairs available. Those types of chairs actually help you maintain proper pelvic tilt, if you were. So your pelvis needs to be in a specific tilted position so that if you were to stand up from your seated position, your pelvis should be in the same position. Right. Sitting and standing.
Absolutely, that makes complete sense. And I think that the biggest message here that we can convey here is if you're in a position or if you're feeling constant pain in a certain way, we all have to continue to have mobility. We all have to strengthen our muscles and strengthen our core and do all of that stuff. And the more we do that, the less pain we'll experience because the more healthy we will become. But if you are experiencing pain, instead of popping a pill and ignoring it, I think the message that we need to take away here today is to see somebody that can help identify why you're experiencing that pain. When she told me that she worked with newborns and she told me that she can help with, allergies and stuff like that, that's something that can affect the level of success you have because you're not going to thrive if you're in agony. It's going to continue to be something that will hold you back.
Right.
So what was another one of the tips that you wanted to share with us today?
Well, there are a multitude of things. If you have a chair that actually has armrests, that tends to be a very large problem. If your chair has armrests, most people tend to rest their elbows on the chair as they type. When you do that, some people complain of carpal tunnel syndromes. Okay, that's that numbness and tingling that you feel into your hands if you've typed for a long time. Now, are you resting your arm against the edge of your desk? Are you resting your arm on the desk next to you, if you have an L-shaped desk? Are you resting your arms on your armrests of your chair? The nerve that controls that runs from your elbow. It's your funny bone. It's the same nerve. And if that's compressed, you're going to get those same symptoms. If it may not be carpal tunnel. It may just be your habit.
That's very interesting. And I do get that. So you learn something every day, and I think that that's important. And our goal here with WOAMTEC is to make sure that all of our members are as productive as they possibly can and working as efficiently as they possibly can. And so one of the things that you said that you do is you can do a posture analysis, and this doesn't actually have to be done in person. So tell me about that, because I know you would talk about my shoulders, and today you did something where somebody's feet were kind of bent in a little bit, the way they stood, and how that would affect their lower back or whatever. Talk to us about how do you do a posture analysis for somebody in Tallahassee or in Texas or in Maryland?
Well, we can do it through Skype, we can do it through Tango, we can do it through video conferencing, we can actually do it through video sent through email. So a sassy, classy diva who does wear heels should actually take the time to make sure that she takes off her heels at any time possible. Make sure that if you're driving, take them off. If you are at home, take them off. Use flat shoes, well-supported shoes through activities that you do not need to wear heels. When you do wear them, make sure that they actually fit your feet. Make sure that you take the time to find the ones that actually support your feet well. That doesn't mean they have to be ugly. It doesn't mean that they have to, not be sassy, classy, and just over the top. But it is about finding the ones that are right for you. The other thing is take time for yourself. We don't do that enough. We worry about everybody else and everything else. Take the time to make sure that your body can help you perform at your best.
I think that's so important. And, with that being said, these shoes are coming off because you couldn't see my feet anyway. So why was I sitting there being tortured? They're cute though. Now you can see them, but they're coming off. And I think that that's so wise for you to say, because we do torture ourselves to look good. And I've seen some of your shoes, and they're good looking shoes. But taking the time you don't need them when you're driving. You don't need them all the time, and giving your feet a break and a rest, which is important.
And I am sitting here barefoot.
She was smart, but she has a killer pair of shoes over there, which is important. Dr. Dana, thank you so much for being here today. I know you're going to give the free posture analysis to somebody, so make sure they connect with you. And what is your website?
ChiroFitInc.com, ChiroFitInc.com.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we are honored to have you as a member in more than one chapter, and I think that you are making a difference in the lives of others and helping everybody. The biggest thing is you hear from chiropractors all the time, and they want to talk about adjusting. They want to talk about solving your problem. What I like the most about her is she talks about changing your habits to prevent the problems, to be healthy, and that's why I love that she's doing the posture analysis, because you can solve the problem before it becomes and prevent the pain, and that's truly what it's about. So everybody, thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Dana, for being here today. And thank you everybody else for watching us today. I appreciate you. We respect you. Again, we know your success is our success. We look forward to seeing you next month. We have another fabulous show that's coming up the first Wednesday in September. So tune in live and continue to grow personally, professionally, spiritually, and live life and thrive. Thank you. God bless, and have a great night.